Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new video here on the Outer Worlds. Today we're going to be doing the quest A Brave New World, going through Tartarus and trying to rescue Phineas. Hopefully this video will be helpful. If it is, go ahead and press that like button, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Alright, so we are here on Tartarus doing a Brave New World quest. Before you even get here, they give you all these kind of warnings like save and all this extra stuff. But luckily, we used our intimidation to get here and got an ID, so these people don't know exactly who we are unless my thing fails, which I think it's about to.
Right there. Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff.
Let's intimidate.
Whoa, nothing. I was just asking. I was going to welcome you aboard.
Oh. What? You made
Okay.
your point.
All right.
Okay, so that worked. Let's go up here. Go in here maybe? Yeah, we can pick it. This gets us somewhere.
I'm not too keen on walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
This might be the loneliest place in the whole system.
Probably.
Let's look around.
So we've got to go over
Gotta be a
there.
few ways from here.
We're just gonna blitz it. Guess that's not gonna work.
Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff.
You guys are dumb.
Whoa, nothing. I was just asking. I was gonna welcome you aboard.
That's what the last person said.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, let's not get crushed. I wonder if avoiding these guys means I'm just gonna have to fight them all on the way out. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, so now we're here.
The captain's here. Let's go. I want to see all of you busting ass.
Something's going down. Let's wait for this to charge back up. It's not going to.
Hank, are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff.
Okay, this time let's lie.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I'll get out of your way.
Yeah, you do that. This is pretty sketchy.
Well, look who it is. I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus.
Oh, look.
I
They know
heard
who
you've
I am.
taken a mechanic under your wing. What's the matter, girl? Couldn't find actual employment?
The captain's treated me right. Better than any of you board folk ever have. I'm exactly where I want to be.
You tell him.
I knew I smelled Monarch when you lot walked in. The stench of sulfur, depression, and desperate bravado is unmistakable.
Keep talking, you'll be smelling iron. Ain't nobody so important I won't put a bullet in.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens.
What's this announcement?
Haven't you heard? Phineas is... It took some doing, but employing an efficient management strategy of putting our guns to his head seems to have done the trick.
I'll see him for myself when I get him. Funny, he just lets me walk right through. Wow, what are all these dead people? I didn't do it. Oh, just let them fight, you know?
What are you doing now?
Take a breath now, so we're up there. I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
I know. Hopefully I have enough ammo.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life.
Well, thank you.
You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
It's over, Sophia. Stand down.
I'm afraid I can't do that. You're a gifted warrior, Captain. You've made your talent for combat abundantly clear. For all your talents, you are the enemy of Halcyon, and therefore you are my enemy.
Aww. Have it your way. I'm going to enjoy putting you down.
I have no intention of dying on Tartarus, Captain. Not when there's so much work left to do. I admit I miscalculated the extent of your influence. The board's plan never accounted for you. This is a mistake I intend to correct. I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage he's done. I can set things right.
Sure, sure. Don't test me, Sophia. It's bad for your
I'm
health.
aware of your propensity for violence. Halcyon is a bloodier place because of you. I wish you'd simply cooperated with me. You're the finest marksman in Halcyon. You could have been my gun.
Nah. Do your worst, you psychopath.
If you insist. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically or something.
Alright, let's see. Where are we going? Guess we're going this way. Oh, I can't hack it. That dude's big. Where'd he go? Oh, can't shoot through that. Ow. Need to make a break for it. Check all these energy cells. Hope you got something cool. Alright, so I guess we can continue forward now. Yeah, that dude was rough. I'll give him that. Haha, Sophia, you're dead. I warned you.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind.
I guess I am.
can't begin to thank you enough.
You know, no. Are you kidding? The board never stood a chance against me.
All in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
Whoa. Great, and I was just about to pop open some drinks and
I
celebrate.
would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
You're quite right. We've got no choice but to make do on our own.
You mean you're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option.
Interesting.
We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
We have a lot of work ahead of us. We'd best get started.
Yes, you're right. The road is long, and we haven't a moment to waste. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time.
Hoorah.
We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
I'm gonna do what I've always done. Whatever I want, all the time.
I doubt I could change your mind, even if I wanted to. You've already done more than I could ask of you. When I revived you, I thought we were going to save this colony all by ourselves. But I was wrong. We can't save Halcyon on our own. We're all going to have to pull together, somehow. We are not a colony anymore. Our last connection to Earth has been severed. I don't know if we'll survive, but we're going to have to try our best.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. As the colony struggled to survive, the inspirational story of the Iconoclasts spread like wildfire. Zora's focus on logistics made for a safer monarch, where the Iconoclasts enjoyed a surge of new blood looking to join the ranks from struggling townships. Life on Monarch slowly improved from a desperate fight for survival to prosperous growth and more permanent strength. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. Junlei Tennyson fought to protect the Groundbreakers' independence. While the board's influence faded, mechanical difficulties forced her to rely on parts that only corporations could provide. The cost was high, and time would tell if Junlei could balance the work with her aspirations for a better future. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently as its chief and sole engineer. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. Before his untimely death, Captain Alex Hawthorne had plans to restore and modify, for combat purposes, a sanitation and maintenance automechanical that he'd found in a state of disrepair in Emerald Vale's scrapyard. That unit remains broken down and forgotten in the Unreliable supply closet to this day. Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. Though he was always haunted by the failures of his past, he was determined to make things right by building toward the future. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. The revival project was hard and painful work, but in the end, despite limited resources, over half the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Even after Wells passed away, the Hope scientists and engineers worked night and day to pull Halcyon from the brink of collapse. Their efforts continue to this day, which may be reason enough for optimism. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Life will never be the same in Halcyon. It is widely agreed that the colony has a chance of stabilizing within a generation, owing to the hard work and determination of the surviving colonists. Recovery is a distant goal, and the path is long and uncertain. But the people of Halcyon carry on, determined as ever. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus, and left Dr. Wells to his own devices. The affairs of the colony never distracted you from living out your own dreams, to captain a ship, to sail the ether, and to earn a reputation as the greatest spacer Halcyon ever had. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Okay, so that was A Brave New World quest, and it looks like that was the end of the game. It was a lot shorter than I imagined it would be. I was thinking that, it'd be a lot longer, but I guess I was wrong. It was pretty good. Overall, it was enjoyable. Anyways, I left the ending in there that I got because you get different endings depending on the choices you make throughout the game. So maybe mine is different than yours, or maybe we got the same one. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and press that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. As always, thanks for watching.